a little bit of flopping around this morning, or this afternoon, or this evening, whatever it may be. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thursday. What is going on? I am Steve Leahy. This is Painting Live on Thursday. A little bit of scrambling because there's a ton of stuff kind of floating around, and I was trying to get a few things ready, and some of them worked out and some of them didn't. But anyway, I'm glad to be here. We're going to be working on the Coppersound pedal painting today, as promised for Monday. I did a lot on it, but I'll explain the story about the leaf in a second. But we're going to put a little bit of copper leaf on that too to make it special. So we'll do that. So I have some show and tell for you today too, and yeah, we got it all covered. So let me turn that down a little bit because it's probably too loud. There we go. It's probably a little bit better. Nope, it's not better. That's because I keep turning it up. Sorry about your ears. All right. Excellent. All right. What am I doing? Well, I suppose I can get comments over here too. So let me switch around here. Be right back. All right. Awesome. Franz, what is up? Mike, what's going on? Lugo, what's happening? Jeff Simon and Simon Carter and Teresa Justine, what's going on? Oh, that's good, Mike. I love it. Mike, you're killing it with the stencils. Love the new ones. All those texture stencils. Mike, I was looking for some really teeny weeny, like little tiny skull templates. So I ended up finding some from Air 6 Stencils, but I don't know if you have any really super small ones, but I needed a bunch of small ones. So I got some coming in, but maybe in the market. So if you have something like that, let me know. All right. First off, number one. So this is one of the reasons I was scrambling around today because, I'm so excited for this. So this camera right here, the one you guys are looking through right now, is one of the cameras that I got when I originally got the whole setup for this whole thing. It's a nice camera. Yeah, it just works all around. I thought that having a manual focus camera was going to be the way to go for all of them. I thought it would be a lot easier, but it turns out this one here needs to be autofocus. So I've been doing my homework and I ended up making an investment and I'm super excited about it, but I wasn't able to set it up for this feed. So I'll have this set up for Monday, but I just got in this, which is the EOS M50 Mark II. So this camera here is going to replace the one I'm manually focusing right now, which is why I got this one. But what's nice is this is a much, much nicer camera than the other ones that I have in the setup. So this one here will do all the heavy lifting for all the super detailed close-up. It's got great color. The autofocus on it is amazing. So this one here we'll put that in play on Monday. So you guys will get to enjoy that, as will I, for not having to continuously have to focus and check it and all that. So super excited about that. I tried to get this set up for this feed, but there's just a few things that I needed to work out to get that done. So there we go. Oh, Mike, that's actually not what I meant, but that is amazing. That's so cool. Dan, what's up? I might switch the comments over to the other side so I don't have to keep leaning over. But so that's number one. Number two, I was a bit late on getting the new Open Studio painting up. But the Harley painting is in process right now. So part 10 is up right now. And what I really love about this painting is it's a totally different Open Studio than the Chevelle painting. The Chevelle painting overall took, I think, about 10 hours to do, top to bottom, which is usually what one of those car takes me to do. This one is a lot different. I already have 10 hours, or no, I'm sorry, I have 5 hours into this painting at this point, and it's not even close. So, so that's what's nice about this one. You kind of get to see a painting that takes a while, and right now it's all about kind of working on the rust and that kind of thing, getting that texture down. But the new one just dropped today, so if you're interested and want to keep up on it, I keep these at about a half an hour, so you won't, have to sit there for 4 hours to get your little bit of airbrushing in each week, and that drops on Thursday. All right, what else do I got? I think that's it. Oh no, one more. I have 3 of the 543s left from this week. So the 2 of them are gone, but these 3 are still available. So I would like to show you all 5, but you can check my Facebook page. You can see them all live. So the first one is the pumpkin painting. And that one, it's good timing with Halloween coming up on Monday, so that is the Great Pumpkin Patch. The next one, which is also very Halloween-y, is the Crystal Skull. So that one's here. And sorry about the glare and everything. Once the feed is over from Monday, I put them in their sleeves, and that keeps them safe. So there is the Crystal Skull. And then finally is A Mother's Love, which is the Jesus portion of Michelangelo's Pietà. So those are the three that are still up there. If you're interested, those are on the site. You can grab those. And I'll be happy to get them out for y'all. All right. Yes, Mike, exactly. Skull Squad. Skull Squad! All right. I am going to cheers with you today. I have, from beautiful Cleveland, I have Great Lakes Brewing Company makes a Tropical Coastal IPA, which is nice. So I'm going to do this one with you guys. And then that way, if I have my UK friends on, like Simon, you guys are cheering, then I'll cheer with you. All right, one other quick show and tell. This is very, very cool. So you guys know about my, well, let me get you in so you can actually see this. Again, now, if I had the other camera, this would be auto-focusing and doing all kinds of other fun stuff. So like I said, these aren't bad cameras at all. It's just, it's too much work to try to juggle. And I have 3 of these cameras. So it's, 2 of them are stationary, so they never move. But this one is always moving. So you guys know my homemade neodymium magnets that I use all the time. So I purchased new ones this week, and these are the new extra super strong ones. I made a mistake though. I measured these really quickly. I thought they were 3/16, but they are not. They're actually smaller, these guys here. So these ones are a little bit bigger, but I could still use them. And I epoxied on little brass screws to kind of give them a handle. These things are really strong for their size, which I love. So I needed that for the board. But I got 25 of these. And then because I ordered the wrong size and I'm nuts, what I did was I ordered 1/4-inch disc magnets from Amazing Magnets, and they're coming in next week. So I'll have 25 1/4-inch, which were a little bit smaller than that. So there you go. So there's all the show and tell. And it's funny when you just put them on the board, this is what they look like. They just kind of snap all together. So there's most of the 25 right there. All right, I'm going now. Jason Garfoot, what's up? Simon, spent 6 months living real close to Great Lakes Brewing Company. Oh, that's awesome, Simon. Very cool. Yeah, I like a lot of what they do. And it's fun. Like now that I've got a couple places that I know bring in some neat stuff, I'm finding all the local breweries, meaning within like a 50-mile radius. So that's really nice because I know they're here, but it's tough to get their stuff because not a lot of places stock nice beer around here. It's all, pretty much big brewery stuff like Budweiser and Michelob and that kind of thing. So it's nice to find, a few good ones around. All right. Oh, Mike, Jason. Yeah, Jason has new digs, which are equally as amazing. All right, let's get to it. So here is the progress on the Coppersound pedal, because we got to get going on this, because I got to put sizing on this. So here's what I've done on this so far, and I'm really happy with the way that it's coming out. The idea is to have a guitar preamp or power tube, and put this circuit board in it, and then put well, all right, it's easier if I just show you. I did this Photoshop comp of it, but that's kind of what we're aiming for. So I know that's not in focus, but trust me, Monday it won't matter. There we go. So that's kind of that's the quick comp I made in Photoshop, and this is how the painting is coming out so far. So I did a lot of some of the tube on, the glass tube on the Monday night feed, but I finished the circuit board and then did all the wires and stuff pretty much the next day. So what we're going to be doing today is this little component right here. I want to put Coppersound's logo on that, but I want that in copper leaf. So I didn't have any copper leaf, so I was going to order some. And then I was talking to Nub over in New York, and he has these great kits. Actually, I'm going to back out again so you can see this, because I'll show you this real quick. But He has these great kits that are already put together for people who are getting into leafing, all kinds of leafing, gold leafing and stuff. All right. Donna, what's up? There we go. And Brandon, hello. All right. So he sells these kits, and I'll show you this real quick. I won't go through the whole thing, but you'll get the idea if I show you. So let me move this because this is the copper leaf that we're using today. But it comes with a bunch of different samples of leaf. This one's aluminum, which I'm actually using on another project. There's several different kinds of variegated leaf, and you can kind of see that through the paper. It looks like when oil drops, into like a puddle on the ground, it makes those rainbow-like shapes. That's what variegated gold leaf looks like. So there's a bunch of different kinds of variegated. There's aluminum in here. I think there's imitation gold is in here too. So he gives you the leaf. There's a couple application brushes, a foam brush. There's a much nicer sizing brush. He gives you the little Trizac spinner to engine turn all of it. There's some pallets down below here, as well as cotton balls and eye patches. So this brush here is mine. This doesn't come with it, but yeah, it was really cool. So this little kit saved my butt because I needed both aluminum and copper leaf for these paintings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this logo on here, and I'm going to try to make this as seamless as possible. So what I needed to do was I had to grab, I'll get you guys closer again. That's really small, obviously. So I needed to apply the sizing so that it creates sort of that logo. I can clean it up after, but I need to get the sizing on roughly in that space right there. So what I did was I printed out a bunch of their logos, really, kind of small, but they're the right size for this. So so that's what I'm going to use to put the sizing on. I'm going to cut out a little template out of this, and then and I'm going to spray the sizing through it, and then wait for the sizing to dry, apply the gold, and then clean it up. So hopefully everything will go well. Hi, honey. What's up? Yay, honey's here. All right. So let me move the painting out of the side here. I almost don't want to spray with these because they look so pretty when they don't have paint on them. The silver with the gold handle on it. But in about 5 seconds, they're going to all look like this. They're all going to be covered. I chose brass for these screws I'll do this real quick because it's relatively important if you're getting into neodymium magnets. So you can buy, if you go to Amazing Magnets, it's dizzying how many different types of magnets they sell. They sell everything, literally every size, shape, strength you could possibly imagine. When I first started ordering from them, when I ordered this batch, I wasn't really paying attention. I thought a magnet was a magnet. So I just ordered a bunch of these that were about the right size, but I didn't check the strength on this. So these ones here are strong, but they're not the strongest they make. So once over the, whatever it's been that I've been using them, I kind of got used to looking for the strength. So these ones here are much stronger than these, even though they're just a tiny bit larger. They probably have twice the holding power because of the strength. So I wanted to make sure that I keep those separate so I'll be able to tell. So that's why I have the brass handles on these. So I'll know just by looking at these that these are the really, really strong ones. So that's why I did it that way. Plus it looks fancy. Travis, what's up? Stay away from genuine silver. It sucks using the artificial stronger. Genuine copper went okay, but the artificial stuff is stronger and looks good. Yeah, that's it too. Travis, so Travis knows. So silver leaf is silver and it tarnishes. So the other thing that a lot of people use in place of silver leaf when they want that silver look instead of aluminum is palladium, which would have worked as well. But for this other painting, it's underneath clear, so I'm not overly worried about any of that. But that's an excellent point. Regular gold leaf, patent gold leaf, or as long as it's 23 karat, if you apply that onto something, it'll look like that forever because gold stays gold. So, all right. So I got my brand new cutting mat from Coast, which is exciting also. If you're looking for cutting mats and you want to get the kind of stuff, you want to do really super small stuff, what I find is these softer cutting mats work much better than the hard ones. So again, things you don't know or things I didn't know. Different mats come in different hardnesses. So some are made for rotary cutters for like seamstresses and things like that. Some are really soft like this one. So I find the soft ones really, really work the best for what I do. All right, so let me cut out one of these. You guys will get to see some micro cutting now. I'll leave a bunch of the paper on here. I'm going to get you guys super close because what I'm going to try to do is save as much of this logo as I can. Again, it's not hypercritical at this stage, but I want copper in as many places as I can. I'd rather have more copper than not enough. So, because I can't really add it, but I can always cover it. Let me put you guys there, and I'll move things around just so you can be super close. And I'll focus in a second. There we go. And like I said, these cameras are great. They really are. They work well, but it's a drag having to refocus every time. I had a first play with some leafing the other day. It was cool, if not entirely successful. Yeah. Oh, Simon, that's funny you say that because that's exactly what I'm doing with the aluminum leaf. So I need like an anodized red leaf stripe on a painting that I'm working on, and that's exactly how I'm going to do it. And I'm sure you realize that the lighter the layers, the better that is. Oh, that's awesome, Jason. Yeah, well, it's 3M, so that makes it easy. Does the sizing matter depending on what the kind of leafing you're using? No, honey, it more depends on the speed that the sizing dries. So there's fast sizing and there's slow sizing. So it depends on what you're doing. So if you need to cover a huge area, you want a slower size so it stays open longer, it stays tacky longer. Most of the time, artists that do what we do will generally use a fast sizing. I'm going to use the water-based sizing, which I've only used once before, but it's such a small area, I'm not overly worried about it, but this should be interesting too. There we go. That's awesome. Not motivated today. All right, that's all right. All right, let me grab a brand new blade because I'm going to need it for this, because this is like microsurgery for this one. Because again, I'm going to try to save that C, and their logo is that the C for Coppersound, and then there's a little resistor behind it. So I'm going to try to save as much of that as I can, because I don't. Again, if I get sizing even if I were to cut out a circle, spray it, and then do the whole circle in the sizing, it's not going to be that big of a deal. But if I can save some of this, then it's just going to make my life easier. So I'll take a few minutes to cut this out. Let me replace the blade. There we go. Oh, Mike, have a good one, man. Thanks, Mike. All right, so yeah, and obviously I don't have to say it. If you're not following Mike's brush, follow Mike's brush. He's always got some great stuff going on. All right, so for this again, what I want is I want to try to cut out as much of this gray as I can. I'm not doing the outer circle here. I'm not even putting the outer circle in there. It would just be. It'd be a lot of work, and it wouldn't pay off the way it should, I guess. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the resistor, and I'm going to try to cut this out as carefully as I can. Again, it doesn't have to be 100%, but the better it is, the better it's going to come out. Or the less work I have to do. That was stupid. Of course, the better I do, the better it comes out. But that's not what I meant. What I meant to say was there'll be less work. All right. Oops, I didn't do that bottom piece. There we go. So now that I've got this cut out and I can see below it, I can see the mat below it, I can adjust this a little bit, like that side's a little bit flat. because I have a brand new blade, I can literally just shave off like a hair's width of this paper. And again, this is basically just premium copy paper. So, it's thick and you can almost carve it. In fact, I'll show you a little trick since I've got it close when I'm done. A little trick you can do with this too. So that's one side. And if I flip this over, you get an idea of what we're looking at. So now we got to do the same thing on the other side. Actually, let me cut out the middle of the C, I think, since that's the next scary part. Oh, I missed some on that too. So for this, you guys hopefully can see this. So there's some gray on the C. I didn't cut that really straight, but again, with a really sharp brand new X-Acto blade, you can literally like cut off the tiniest bit. So that's all set now. That's what I ended up cutting off. Gary Jensen's video on automotive gold leafing will show you everything you need to know about gold leafing. Jeff, that's awesome. Jeff, what's going on? If you're not following Jeff too, I love watching Jeff work. Yeah, Gary Jensen's amazing. Gold leafing is one of those things that fascinates me, but again, it's one of those things that I don't get to incorporate a lot. But when I do, I love it. Like you guys have seen all, the 543s that I've been adding gold leaf to, but the Boston painting that's hanging in Pittsburgh right now in Slippery Rock University, the show for the AAP, the gold dome of the marketplace is actually gold leaf in that. So I love putting it in when I can, and it's nice because it's the payoff for someone really seeing the painting for real, because that doesn't translate at all. I mean, if you look at that Boston painting online, the dome looks gold, but it looks like I painted it gold. It doesn't look like what it really is in real life. If you see that little nugget just glows by itself, and as you move around it's gold, so it shows all the reflections and everything. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so now what I got to do is I got to be super careful not to, because the only thing holding this C in is that line that goes across. So I got my fingernail on the gray piece right here to hold it, to give it a little bit of support while I cut the rest of it out. Because if I just go and cut it, I'll be pulling the paper, and I'll pretty much guarantee that I'll rip the little connection there that's holding it. There we go. And then when you pull this out, when I pull this out, I want to do it really slowly so that I make sure I get everything. So if I just yank this, which I've done, if you just pull it out, you'll end up ripping that. So there you have it. That is the 1/4 inch across Coppersound logo. Again, this is the resistor here, or the diode, or whatever it is a little bit thicker than it needs to be, but that's totally okay, because that means there's going to be more copper there when I'm done, and I just have to clean it up with the black. So I said I was going to show you something cool you can do with this paper too, the heavy paper. So say like right about here, and this part right here is a little bit flat. So what I can do is I can take the blade, put it perpendicular to that cut, and literally just carve it till it's round. I mean, talk about, like, I know this seems like nitpicky, but to have the ability to do this, if you really want to get this nitpicky, is amazing. And you can only do this with, I mean, you can do it with thin paper, but it works much better with heavier paper. So I'm just going back and forth and just like essentially just scratching the circle, scratching the paper so little micro bits come off it, and then I end up with it being round. Okay, so there we go. So that's what we got. Excellent. Yes, exactly, Travis. So we just, Marge has a Roland plotter, which is awesome. And it's on the older side, the plotter itself. So Marge has a separate computer that's hooked up right to that. So she had a problem with that computer, so she ended up bringing it in, but she just got it back. So hopefully. Now, I don't know if the Roland can cut something that small though. So it might be able, I'm sure it can cut the circle, but I'm not sure that it can cut the C on the inside. But in any event, it is awesome. All right, so let me move this now, and we'll spray some sizing. I don't know how long the sizing, like I said, I don't use this water-based sizing very often. It looks like milky whatever. So it's going to be kind of, it's going to be kind of a new experiment for me too. I know it's going to work, especially on the scale, but this way, let's see what we got. All right, so here's our painting. I'm going to move you guys one more time just so you don't have to be that close. There we go. A little more light on the subject. I got a new light coming in too, which I'm excited about. I love these Ott lights. They're perfect. The color is great. The light is great. But this one here, it's too big for the setup. It belongs on the big bench, so I'm going to return it to the big bench. But in order to do that, I have to get a new one. All right. So what I'm going to do, I want this. What I want is this logo. I want it to be horizontal or perpendicular to the. Or no, I want it to be parallel. I'll figure it out. I want it to be parallel to the bottom edge and the top edge. So I was thinking about, you know, turning it and making it, you know, whatever, but I'm going to have it perfectly parallel with the bottom. So in order to do that, I'm going to put a straight line through it so that I can measure. Just kind of eyeball it. And I just got a straight line on this. Run it out there. Ah, perfect. What else am I missing? All right. Yeah, you're right, Travis. Any logo work, especially on bikes and cars and stuff, I mean, you can't do that without a plotter. I mean, if you want it to look right, I don't mean you personally because, you know, you kick ass anyway, but for people who are like, you know, getting into it, just if you don't have access to a plotter, if you don't have a plotter, just there are plenty of places that will cut it for you. All right, so I'm having a difficult time seeing where the middle is here. And I want this centered. So here's what I'm going to do. Since I'm having a hard time seeing it, I'm going to put the center in here. I can always erase this out after or cover it with paint, so I'm not worried about marking this up. But I really need to see where that center is, just so I get this right in the middle. Because if this is off, it's going to look terrible. It really will look terrible. Look unintentional, and you know, all the effort that went into making this circuit board look like a circuit board will be lost that I missed the middle of that thing. So, all right, back to it. So now I can see the little X there, so now I know where the center is, so I can drop that diode right on there. Use one of my new fancy magnets to hold that in place. Now I can adjust it with the ruler, just a plastic ruler. Let's see, we want that there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up that side of the line, and I'm going to take a magnet, I'm going to put it right there. Now I can take this magnet off, and now I can adjust the other one, and it pivots on that magnet. And we weren't that far off. Lovely. Just drop that down a hair, drop that in. So now we're in the center, I hope. Double check it. Yeah, good. Yeah? Close. Close enough. Close enough for rock and roll. All right, so now I'm going to put these magnets a little bit closer. I'm going to spray this with sizing, but I don't want to get any sizing anywhere else on this painting. So even though this is a small template and I could probably just, you know, hit that and not worry about it, I'm not taking chances with this one. So what I'll use is just other copies. So I have all the photocopies from this, so I'll use these to kind of block things off. And if you guys have any questions or comments, you guys are doing a great job jumping in there, so that's awesome. Please feel free. I'm still trying to figure out how to make sure that the live chat shows all the time. I think I'm missing something because sometimes it shows after the fact, sometimes it doesn't. So I'll have to make sure I figure that out, because if you ask a question and I miss it, I'd love to be able to get back on after. And I mean, I could certainly do that if you post in the comments after the fact, if you have a question on the video. So if you're watching this after and you have a question, please, drop it in the comments and then I will see that. So I know that. All right. Close enough for rock and roll. Yeah, I don't know why I keep saying that. I've said it forever. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's back you guys out a little bit while I figure out this stuff here. So again, I could just run over and grab the ducts, which is DUX. It's the solvent-based sizing, it's what I've been using. But I really wanted to give this a run. I tried it a little bit and then I don't think I gave it enough of a chance. And for this, it's going to work out okay. So what I am going to do though, before I do that, there we go. Just going to grab, this is just FBS gold tape, the same tape that I use on everything. It's on the edge of this painting. I use it on the 543s. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple pieces of this right up above, and I'll show you what that's for in a second. Here we go. That works. Okay. So let's look at the viscosity first, because ideally what I'd like to do is spray this just as they made it. And this is a lot thinner actually than the solvent-based sizing. So I think I'm just going to spray this out of the bottle. That's lovely. Water-based, I'm assuming this you're going to reduce this with water, but once you start messing with this, it changes. I mean, it's not like messing with paint. Paint, I screw around with all the time. This, I want the gold to stick to this. So if I really reduce this to get it to spray nicely, then I'm probably going to compromise its ability to hold the leaf. So I don't want to do that if I can. So I'm just going to go for it, because I want you to say it all with me. What the hell could go wrong? The good news is if this goes completely sideways, well, that's unfortunate. What am I going to use for this? I'll use Mike's brush. If this goes completely sideways, I just paint black over that. Just paint it black again and start over. So that's why I'm not totally stressing out over this. What could go wrong? I know, right? Where did you get Cody? That came right from Nub's Graphics, or Nub Graphics, sorry, in New York. So I think you can check his website. If you don't, if he doesn't have it on the site, you could always just send a message to Vanessa, who runs all that type of stuff for Nub, and she can let you know if those kits are available and how much they are. And it's nice because it really does. It gives you everything you need to start off, which is kind of cool. All right, so yeah, I'm just going to use the Mojo, which might not be a great idea either because this is a really small nozzled airbrush. But I realized I was a severely bad dog and left paint in my HPC, which is the brush I probably would have used for this. And I can't remember when I used this last, so that paint is in there. I'm not going to take the time to clean that out. So here we go. No, that's actually really thin. This is going to be fine. So I obviously don't need very much of this. Let me get you guys in closer again. What I want to do though, I want to make sure this goes on smooth and light. So I'm going to just really kind of put this on in lighter layers until I get enough of it built up. Because I don't want to, if I blast this on, it's going to go everywhere underneath. Even though I want a good coating of this, I don't want to really hit this hard because I don't want this, because wherever this goes, wherever the sizing goes is where the leaf is going to stick, which is why I took the time to cover this whole thing up. Is even if there's a tiny bit of sizing, even overspray on the side, the copper is going to stick to it and then it's going to be a total mess. So I got to be really careful about that. What else we got? Jeff's been using ducks, slow size, because it apply the size in the evening, leave it for 12 hours, come back next morning. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's the beauty of that slow size. And Jeff, doesn't that also stay open for like 24 hours? So you have like the whole day to size that whole thing? I know a lot of sign guys use the slow sizing, or the gilding guys use the slow sizing for that reason. Yeah, and right, Travis. Spraying the stuff puts it on in just such a nice way. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, the spray's beautiful. Oh, this is a good thing. Now, we just got to hope it sticks. All right, So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of really lightly, I definitely don't want to come in at an angle with this like this. I want to keep this straight on to the design, but I also want to kind of see what I'm spraying. So oh, you know what I'll do? Is that going to work? Yeah. All right. So here I am way up here. So normally I'd be, here looking at the painting. Actually, let me do this so you can see it for real. So normally I'd be, here looking at the painting or, back a little bit farther. But what I'm doing now is I get like way down in here. So I'm looking at an angle with the light up here. So I can really like see as that's going on, the sizing. I could see the spray. If I just spray it on the black, it's really tough to see. So now that you got that, I'll jump back to that one and you guys can actually, I'll put that on to, nah, I knew I shouldn't have done that. That's all right. It's super small, but whatever. That's what she said. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a layer on this, like that. And then I'm going to go up here on the tape and I'm going to put the same spray on that right there. So that's exactly what I did just there. So I'm going to do it again down here. And then I'm going to put another coat up on the tape. Let that dry a little bit. And rinse and repeat. So third coat of this. Oop, make sure I'm not gooped up here. Yep. Third coat on the logo. And third coat up on the tape. And just for shits and giggles, I'll put one more coat just to make sure I've got enough on there. Because again, this is the glue. This is the glue that holds that on. All right, so there we go. So that is on there. And the nice thing about this sizing too, it cleans out with water. So, so like I would never have put, I could have put the sizing into Mike's brush there, but that just means, now you have to clean it out with solvent and just gets to be a hassle. All right, so the reason why I put the tape up here with the sizing on it is that now what I can do, oops, I don't want the whole thing to fall. Now I can test, I don't want to do that either. Jeez Louise. I'm throwing the magnets around. So now what I can do is I can test the tackiness of this leaf on the tape. I wouldn't want to touch that, to test to see if it's ready. But now that's exactly the same as what's on here. So now I can test the tackiness right here. And right now it's nowhere near ready. So the way you basically determine whether the sizing is ready is it should have just a little bit of a tack to it. Right now it's sticky. So or with gold sizing, it's almost like clear coat. You can almost see this, not strings, but it stays super sticky. You want it to be like it just like kind of holds your finger as you move away from it. So that's where you want that. Again, I'm not entirely sure how fast this sets up, so it's always a good idea to have that little test spray off to the side. So I'm gonna let that sit. And that looks really good. I can see I don't know if I can show you guys, but I can see the sizing on here as opposed to the black, and it looks really good. So that's a good sign. So while waiting for that to set up, we can continue on. I guess I can continue on working with the rest of it. What do I want to put in next? Since that's going to take, I'm assuming that's going to take a few minutes to really get to a point where it's good. The good news is, even if it's not quite ready, even if it's still overly tacky, I'm still going to stick it on there with you guys, just so you guys can see it. It's still going to work because the air is so small, but you don't want to put gold leaf on before it's ready. If it's really super tacky, especially with like super thin gold, like real 23 karat, if the sizing is too wet underneath, it turns the gold, like especially 23 karat, it turns it like a dull color. It doesn't have the shine anymore. It's almost like the sizing comes right through the gold. It's interesting. All right, what do we got? Jeff, have a good one, man. Thanks for coming in. I've seen people add color to solvent to make it easier to see, but no idea how it affected. Yeah, Simon, that's an old trick too. If you add, for instance, one shot to the sizing, it tints it, and it doesn't change it at all. If in fact one shot is oil based like the sizing, so it just tints it a little bit. It's a really good idea. if you need to see, what you're doing. For this, again, I can see it from an angle, so it's not a big deal. I didn't have to tint it at all. But yeah, that tinting sizing is pretty common. All right, so I don't want to put any, I'm going to cut out a mask for this or use the mask, but I don't want to touch that with paper either because that's obviously going to stick. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do here. Let me, why don't I just work on the bottom of the glass here? I think that'd be a safe thing to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sacrifice one of these templates by cutting it because I don't want that component to be hit with paper at all. I can risk the overspray, but I don't want to risk the other side of it. What's nice is it makes it super easy to line up because it's right there. Oh, I didn't even cut it, so it doesn't even matter. All right. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Do you cover the leaf with bleed checker if you're going to shade over it? No. Like on the I'm working on a car portrait right now. We're talking about that Candy 2.0. So no, that's what I did was I can't show you that painting because it's going to someone. But what it is it's a painting of a car, and then around the outside edge there's it's going to be like a metallic red pinstripe. So I'm going to use the aluminum, and then I'm going to spray the Candy 2.0 over it once it's leafed. So in that instance, I mean, yeah, you could spray it with bleed checkered, but there's nothing else but clear going over that. And that size stripe, which is micro small, it's probably 1/32 of an inch wide. That's not going to bleed. You're not going to notice that, blushing into the clear at all. So no, I probably wouldn't use bleed checker on that. Plus, leaf looks great as it is. Like it almost doesn't need any, like we talked about with gold leaf. You shouldn't put anything on it at all to make it look the best. But in these paintings, I have to clear them, so I would clear them with something. So hopefully that answers it. Awesome. All right. So I have to cut this out first. Let me check this again. See, I knew it. This window on this is short. This is actually ready to go now. So we'll leaf, and then, because I'm afraid I'm going to lose the window. So with the copper, it's pretty heavy. Here it is right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to zoom out because I want to make sure I catch this because it already started setting up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a small piece of the copper off of here, like that. And I'm just going to, as it floats away, there we go. I'm just going to drop that. Oh, that's folded too. The imitation or the copper and the imitation gold, you could actually handle like this. The 23 karat, you can't handle like this because it'll just fall apart in your hands. So let me, actually, let me clear the deck here. That might be a better way to do this. Okay, that's better. Better. All right, so, and it helps when you do this flat too. Right now I have this up on the easel. Just doesn't really want to work for me. So anyway, so that goes on there. And then what you need to do is just kind of push that in. Like that. So what's going to happen is we're going to hold our breath in a second because what I don't want is that copper to stick to other parts, and it shouldn't because that paint is dry, but trust me, it's happened more times than I would care to want to happen. So now that I know I got that all nice and tapped in, I have another watercolor brush. This is just a inexpensive or less expensive sable brush. So what I can do with this now is I can just really gently kind of brush off anything that isn't going to stick. Now, it seems like it's sticking on the C inside, like I can't get that off. So I'm not going to worry about that, which is fine. It's fine. So yeah, I did that extra work of cutting that out, you know, all that stuff out, hoping that it would come out, but it didn't. So what's going on is, like I said, the copper is sticking to part of the paint too, and it's doing it around the edges a little bit too. So I'm going to work on it a little bit, but I'm not going to work on it a lot. I don't want to run the risk of, you know, removing the leaf from the place that I just stuck it on. I'm sure you guys can see that. Yeah, and it's on there. I mean, it looks great. But over here, like over here, I can't get the gold really off the edge. Well, maybe I can. I can also use one of the Winsor Newton brushes, since they're actually sable too. And you just need a, you know, I like to use a really soft brush to do this. You can also just blow on it if it's a larger area, and it'll, you know, again, wherever there's no sizing, it should come right off. But I can't, yeah, it's stuck on there in the middle. But that is okay, and I'll show you what we're going to do. And this is the big thing that I kind of realized with the 543s as I was doing this. Like, I'd be like, oh, now what do I do? It's like all over the place where I don't want it. And if I move my finger here, you can see the reflection of it. So what I've been doing is, on the 543s, like, this is just opaque black, this component right here. So all I'm going to do is paint it all in, paint all around it, and then just pull it back out. And that's how that's going to work. What else did I miss? Do you... Oh, yeah, so that's it too. So, Travis, you know way more than I do about this. Like I said, I kind of just hope for the best a lot of times with sizing. So, that's a good one. So the only thing with, the only thing to be afraid of actually touching the... Oh, well, yeah, I suppose you could do it on the test panel too. But yeah, if you slide your finger on it, it squeaks. That's probably perfect. That's just the right amount of tack. Nice. Yes, thank you, Simon. Yeah, right. Why not? Detail airbrush sizing spray. So, oh, I mean, if you're shading over the leafing like C3PO painting. Oh, yeah, no, Jason, that is literally just painting on the leaf. So, and the way, it was funny, I was joking with Nub about it because we were talking about it as I was working on it. And it's essentially like walking on a frozen pond. The paint just skates across, even with the, like, if you put any more than the very lightest layer of paint on there, it just spider webs everywhere. So you have to move super slow. So those gold leaf ones take me a long time, but no, I just apply the paint directly to the leaf. Now, are there other ways to do it? I'm sure. If you look at all those, the fire trucks with all the scroll work that has all the shading on it, I'm sure there's a technique. Again, I just don't know it. I don't think you need to, there you go. Okay, Simon, thank you. Okay, could you have just scratched the part off that shouldn't have leaves? Yeah, so honey, we'll try that. So now here's what it boils down to. It's what you're more comfortable with. So I'm real comfortable with the paintbrush, so I'd feel real good about just painting in all the areas that have leaf on them. But there's there's some black paint on there. I mean, it's not like it's completely, thin there. So let me move this. And can I move this again so you guys can really see what's going on, hopefully, kind of, sort of, maybe. I hope you can see that. It looks real black on the monitor, but hopefully you can see where I'm working. So yeah, so along the edge here, I'd feel okay just kind of like scratching off, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it right here, and immediately went all the way down to the green. So there isn't as much black on there as I thought. So yeah, so I don't think I could get that gold off without, there it's coming off, but I don't think I could do that without, just carving it down to the green. If this was like if I did this on a black base, like if this whole thing was black and then I was carving down and I hit the black again, then yeah, you could definitely do that. But I feel really comfortable with the paintbrush, so that's the way I'm going to kind of attack this. So first off, I need a little bit of opaque black, and of course the opaque black is beautiful because it's opaque, so it's going to cover the leaf. It's going to stick really well to it too. When I'm painting the details on the gold leaf, like with the paintbrush, that stuff sticks really, really well. Like I don't have too many problems with that. I mean, I can't go nuts with it because it's still like painting on a piece of glass, but it works. All right, so with the opaque black though, I can just cover that leaf. Now the leaf is so thin that you don't, what I was worried about this when I first started thinking about how I was going to kind of tackle this, painting with you're painting over the leaf. I was afraid that if I painted over this leaf that you'd see the edge, and you can, but you have to have bionic eyes to really see it. So the first layer, just like airbrushing, the first layer is really, really thin, and I just want to kind of get some paint on there. I'm not going for like 100% saturation right out of the gate. It's more that I'm concentrating on those edges first. Oh yeah, Travis, that's true too. But what I've found is once the gold is set on there, like for those 543s that I've been doing, once the gold is on there, it holds on pretty well. Like I wouldn't want to do like, huge air pressure on that, because you're right, the leaf would probably just drill off. But it's an excellent point and something to be kind of watched as well. So now I'm definitely taking my time with this, because if I get the black on the copper, like where I don't want it, that's a really hard fix. I mean, what I'd have to do is get a tiny bit of sizing on there, and then take a little scrap of copper and cover it up again. And that's just a lot of work. So I'm trying to do my best not to get any black where it shouldn't be. So just taking my time with it. I'll do the component, whatever that is, a transistor or resistor. I'll do that last. Or, when I turn it, I'll do it. Just doing the edges that I can get to easily now. And it's a lot of back and forth. So once I get that first layer on, then I can go back with the next layer on top of that and hit a little bit stronger, put a little bit more opacity on it, and then that works. The other cool thing is the sizing actually has some dimension to it. So really all I'm doing is filling in the area. So that's actually helping a lot. It's not like I'm just painting on it, which, is the 543s, that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm just painting right on the leaf. This has I can see the channel that was left by the mask. So that makes it easy. All I'm doing is really just kind of filling in that open space. So the other way to do this too is, just leaf in the circle. Like if I didn't, if I knew, well, now I know, but if I knew before that I wouldn't be able to get the middle of the C out of this thing, then I would have just, leafed a circle and then just painted the C on top of it. But I thought I could get away with it, and I couldn't, so there you go. See about this here. So you guys are somewhat in the ballpark. Oh yeah, you can kind of see it, can't you? Wonder how close I can get. Oh, I can get close. Oh boy. That's the other bonus too with me getting a Canon for the M50. There's an adapter that will allow me to use my other Canon lenses with that camera. So I have a really nice macro lens. So once I get I didn't get the adapter this time, but I'll grab the adapter and then I'll be able to use the macro lens. All right, so now that I'm at the right angle, I'll start putting in whatever that thing is, the resistor or transistor or whatever it is. my engineer dad is like cringing right now. So again, I'm just kind of rolling up to that edge that's on here and letting the paint just kind of sit on there. Again, you know, most of the metals are gonna like resist the paint, especially if it's reduced. Like once you get the reduction in it, it's not gonna wanna, you know, like I said, it's gonna skate across, or it's not gonna wanna cover evenly or skip or whatever. But once you get that first layer of paint on, then you're all set. Is that guitar pedal you showed going into production? I play guitar, I'd love to hear it. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so the Gravity Bomb is out. The Gravity Bomb 2 is out right now from Coppersound. They're just a great bunch of guys. Yeah, I love their stuff. So, and, you know, I've known them for a long time, the owners. So it's been a great kind of back and forth with them. But yeah, the Gravity Bomb 2 is out now. I don't know that you can find, I think they discontinued the Gravity Bomb 1, but I'm sure you can still find it. But yeah, they've got some really nice stuff. Still one of my favorite things is once I finish the triple graph for them, like I grew up in a musical family, so I can like hack around on a guitar, but I definitely don't play guitar. But still, they sent me one of the triple graphs, one of the limited ones that are signed by Jack White. So that was just a really cool thing to have. It has not been used yet because, again, I wouldn't do it justice, but it's very cool to have it. It's on my it's right next to my desk on the shelf. All right, so again, now I'm just kind of dropping in that resistor or transistor or whatever it is in the middle. Now, the other thing you may be asking yourself, the parts like inside the C have no sizing on them underneath. So theoretically, there's nothing holding that leaf on, and also this C, because I'm just, you know, painting over the gold leaf. So what's going to happen at the end of this whole thing is going to get cleared, you know. So it's going to have UVLS on it. So that's going to lock in, you know, the chance that would ever fail, you know, that would ever come out. Now, I'm sure if you're working on a vehicle or something bigger and you have leaf stuck where, you know, wasn't intended and it has no sizing underneath, I'm sure that's a bad thing. And again, I'm not the guy to ask on how to deal with that. That would be, you know, like Travis, who uses it, a question for someone who's, you know, who's up on that. This is working out swimmingly. All right. I'm not displeased with my 1/4-inch Coppersound thingy. So let me back this up so you can get a feel for the whole thing now. La, 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 da, 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 da. I know it's way too close, so I'm going to take care of that in a second. I'm going to jump back out and do this, and then do this. There we go. There we go. So that's what we're looking like. Let me turn it right side up now, and I'll turn it a little bit so you see it. But there's the little Coppersound medallion in the middle, and that's what I'm talking about. Like at the wrong or at different angles, this doesn't show up, but as you walk by it, that logo will light up. It's just a really neat trick. So what I may do, I won't do it. I've already spent a lot of time on this. Around the component, if I tilt that, you can see the shine. What I use for those components is the Quicksilver 4104. They call it Quicksilver Gold, but it's the gold plating. So that's what I used on the other components. So they do have a shine too. What I was about to say was I should put copper on some of those components too, but that's enough shine for that, I think. And that's what we got. So there you go. So there's your Thursday afternoon feed. So let me swap this out. Actually, I'll swap that, so you got that. Get that out of the way. Yes, so Monday we'll have the shiny new camera, which is very exciting. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. So we got that going on. I don't know what I'm doing for the feed on Monday, so but you know, I'm sure we have a couple other things on the list. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of the rest of this week going to kind of go through the questions, and usually that's how I come up with the project for the Monday night feeds is look to see what people are asking about and then kind of address them in the feed. So we might do that. I do have an idea. One of the viewers had sent me a bunch of objects to paint. I'll leave it at that. So I may do one of those. So that'll be fun too. So I got that. And then Tech Tuesday, what I want to try to start doing is instead of just grabbing things around here, I want to start answering questions on those Tech Tuesdays. So if you have any questions or see something, you can certainly send me a message, and it'll give me a chance to address that on Tech Tuesday. I know I've been bad, and I know I haven't been putting them up, but we'll get back on that too. So that's what I got. So thanks for hanging out. Yeah, we'll do all the same next week. Next week, we're jumping into November, so we're already there. So anyway, I hope you all have the best weekend, and I hope you have a great, well, there is no holiday coming up, so there we go. And if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do, and click that bell icon. We're growing the channel, and I'm very happy that you guys are a part of it. So that's what I got. All right, so have a great week, and I will catch you guys all on the next one.